a tip that I picked up recently doing really large, 30, 40, 50 mile areas of terrain, trying to get contours in place. What I found first of all is that from Google Earth or Google Maps, if you turn on terrain and get the right zoom, you can get 20-foot, I believe they're typically 20-foot contours. Here I can see a 40-foot contour running, or sorry, 400-foot contour running through. If I'd had a bigger area, I'd be able to see maybe a few 200-foot contours. It usually only labels every 200 feet, but then it gives you every 20 or 40 feet in between those distances. So what I found is that on really large areas, you can get pretty decent terrain, and I'm talking big. I'm talking 15, 20, 30 mile areas at minimum, with significant terrain height adjustments. You can get pretty decent and accurate contours just by adding points wherever a contour node shows up. Now in this case, I'm only seeing 400 feet because there's only about, I want to say about 80 feet or 100 feet of elevation gain in this whole area. But if there are significant areas of elevation gain and drop, you could just add in pins at each of those points. And because you're doing huge areas, it would be really tedious, if I just kind of illustrate here, to trace out every single one of these contours. On a map like this, it's probably reasonable to be able to expect to add all of the contours in like that and get something relatively accurate. But if you have a bigger area and you just want to add nodes, a quick way to do that is just like when you're going to add the contours, you select the mesh tool, make sure you're on polygon, and instead of clicking, you just hit enter and enter. For me, it's a little bit quicker to just enter those in. And if I go through a few examples here, I can get those elevation points in there based on what's showing from Google Earth. Now I could also add in points like here. I know that this is like 20 feet lower, and this is 20 feet lower, and this is back up 20 feet. So kind of knowing where those contours are, you can add some of those points in. And then when you're ready to elevate them, instead of clicking and isolating them, if you do the same thing, hover over it and hit enter and activate the z-axis. I can make this 400 feet. Do the same thing here, hit enter. It'll automatically default to the last use pet palette option. So I can make this 380 feet, hit enter, 360, hit enter, 360, enter, 380. Recently I was working on a project where we needed an extended context, something like this. And in a matter of a day or so, I got a reasonably detailed contour mesh using just the points from Google Earth. Anyway, I hope you can find this tip a little bit useful for your context models as well.